What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning into this episode of Twin Finance. My name is Jackson, and today we're going to be comparing having a job versus owning a business. And now notice what I said there. You have a job, you work a job, but you own a business. And that'll come into play later in the video when I start breaking down the two. I'm sure many of you are also aware that many of the richest people in the world are also business owners. And this video will shed some light on why that is so. But that isn't the main purpose of this video. The main purpose of this video is I want to kind of compare the average job versus the average businessman. Obviously you can compare, having a job versus Bill Gates, and you can make obviously Bill Gates wins. But I want to show you why, because many people think, why would I go into business if, I know like this company's really good and that company's really good, and like all the risk, it's not really worth it because like I'm not going to be Bill Gates. I'm going to show you why the average business versus the average job, and why I believe the average business is the better choice. So basically I broke it down into three parts. So the first part is a two-parter, so I guess you could call it 4 parts. I just wrote it down here so I didn't forget. But the first part is income, guys, so I'll write that over here too. So I for income. And the first thing is with business, your income, it's going to be unpredictable. There's no set salary, there's no guidelines on like what your raise and your pay structure is going to be over time. You have no idea. With your job, it's very predictable. It's very predictable, it's known. We'll write this, it's known. Your income's known, you go in, you work the job, you know what you're getting at the end of the month. No worries, it's probably easier to develop a budget plan, deal with your your financials and everything like that. So I guess a lot of people, depending on the type of person you are, this is more attractive for them. But the second part to it is what I like to believe pulls many people into the business world versus having a job, and that's the risk and the reward. So the reward. Here I'll write reward, and then I'll just cross it out. And I know that's probably a little aggressive. When businesses are doing well, they probably will give their employees raises, help them out a little bit. But really, who wins when a business starts taking off? Jeff Bezos, you know what I mean? The business starts taking off and going crazy. Who's reaping the benefit from that, right? And even if it's just a regular person, a regular CEO, he owns a restaurant in town. The head cook's getting paid 40 or 50 to be a head cook and manage the place and everything. And that's good. It's a stable job, but maybe the income of the restaurant starts out at around 50 after everything's all said and done, and then in 5-10 years it's up to 200,000 to 300,000. Maybe this guy's looking at around 50, 55, maybe he's at 60 now. This person's making 300,000, right? So you can really see who reaps the reward here when the business is doing well. And obviously you're probably thinking, okay, well, what if the business is doing bad? Obviously there's potential for higher, I guess you could say, loss here too if the business is doing bad. But really, with a job too, guys, there's a lot of potential for loss too. How many times have you heard, businesses aren't doing so well and they lay off 50 employees, or GM laying off thousands of employees, shutting down 6 plants, right? So your job, people love to believe jobs are super secure, but ultimately it's the underlying business that determines the security of that job. So with the business, I wouldn't like to say the downside is higher here than it is here, because if the downside of the business and the business is doing bad, unless you're like the inner circle, like the 3, 5, 6 most important employees, your job's not that secure. Like if you're just on like the front lines of the business, you're pretty much facing the same risk reward as you are here, because if the business is doing bad and you have low seniority or whatever, climbing the corporate ladder, your job's probably not that secure either. So that, I just wanted to touch on the downside for you guys. And this is what I said earlier at the beginning of the video. So here, you own a business, you have a job. I'm going to explain the difference between the two. So let's say I'm working a job making $80,000, I'm doing fairly well for myself, and I'm not really liking it though. I want to quit because I want to chase something else, maybe it's not as much money, but I don't want to do what I'm doing currently. So, okay, I go to my boss and I tell him, this career's not really working out for me, and then that's the end of it, you part your ways and you go separate ways. So what do you leave with? $0. You can't go to your boss and say, I make 80,000, so I'm gonna quit, but like give me 300 so I can just get to the next bit here. The thing is, when you own a business, guys, you can also sell your business because it's yours. So if say you're making 80K, the same 80K, you know, it's a good business in town, you know, a little small town business making $80,000. He lives down the street from that guy. He doesn't like his business either. He's like, you know, I want to get out of it. It's really bringing me down mentally. You know, I want to switch up what I'm doing. But he says, wait, I own my business, so I'm going to sell it. So he starts making some calls around town to some investors and whatnot, some other business owners that may be interested in purchasing. And he says, yeah, so I make $80,000. I think maybe 3, 4, 5 times earnings is fair for my business. You know, it's well established. And, you know, I really think, you know, it's a fair price for my business. So, you know, buddy, maybe he walks away with, you know, $300,000. This is someone gives him, you know, a decent earnings multiple on his business. So you can sell your business. You can't sell your job. You can't, you know, walk to the next person who's going to fill in your shoes and say, yeah, give me $300,000 and I'll give you my job. That's not how it works, guys. So that's one really key thing that I think separates a lot of financial, there's a lot of financial gaps there where owning a business is much more appealing than having a job. And that's one of the huge factors that I believe. You see it all the time, business owners that want to get out of their business and then they walk away. You know, I worked for a small restaurant in my city and we changed ownership and they walked away. I'm sure they got paid a decent amount of money for their business. At least all I know is even if they didn't get the best, you know, earnings multiple on their business, they didn't walk away with nothing. They sold their business. Whereas if you quit a job, you're walking away with nothing. And now, what I wrote down here is A. And what I want that to stand for is automate. The thing is with a business, you can automate it. So let's say you own a restaurant. I'm using restaurants because it's real simple, guys. It could be any kind of business. Let's say you own a restaurant. You hire a few managers. They go there, take care of all the stuff. You got an accountant, takes care of that. Managers open up and close the place. They run it all. What are you doing? Sitting at home on the couch. Not because you're lazy, because you got time. You got time to put into other ideas, you have the potential to do that. Obviously, when you're a businessman, you're not just sitting at home doing nothing. But what I'm saying is you have the ability to automate your business if you choose to do so. Obviously, there's a ton of business owners who love being hands-on, going to work every day and doing everything. But it's often a good thing too, because it opens up the door for other people to start other businesses, right? Like Elon Musk. He doesn't go work an 8-hour shift at Tesla and then work an 8-hour shift at the Boring Company and then work an 8-hour shift at SpaceX. That's like, he doesn't have to be there, right? Those businesses run on their own. So that you can automate a business not only to give you time to spend with your family and start other businesses, but you can automate your business and still get paid the same. Whereas if you choose not to go to your job, $0. If you automate your business and choose not to show up, your income stays the same. And I really think, because what happens, guys, is essentially if you want to make money, you have to give away some time. And I really think that's where the limitation comes in for job versus business owner. Even if this guy, you know, they're both making $80,000. If he has $80,000 but he has to work 60 hours a week, and he has $80,000 but he automated his business, he only shows up like 10, 15 hours a week to check in on everything. He has a bunch of time to go find ways and opportunities to make more money and get new money, right? So he has time on his side versus this person who, if they want to get paid that amount, has to work that much. And you just don't have that freedom, that flexibility in a job as you do in a business. So I guess that wraps up our video, guys. I covered the 4 points I wanted to share with you. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you have some extra comments on, you know, maybe you think a job's better or another couple of reasons why a business is better, please share them in the comment section below. I hope you guys grabbed a ton of value from the video. Thank you for watching and have a great day.